Welcome. Tonight, this story is for the ones who have been carrying something heavy for a long time. The ones who can feel the slow accumulation of weight in their shoulders, in their patience, in the way they sit at the end of the day. The ones who have begun, sometimes without noticing, to measure their lives in years rather than weeks. If you are inside your Saturn Mahadasha, this episode is for you. If your Saturn period is approaching, this episode is for you too. And if you have lived through one already, and remember the long winter of it, the slow craftsmanship, the friends who fell away and the depth that took their place, you are welcome here as well. Before we begin, give yourself a moment. There is no hurry. Saturn understands what hurry costs. Tonight, we move slowly with the slowest teacher. Let your shoulders drop. Just a little. Notice the weight of your head against the pillow. Notice the soft warmth at the base of your skull where the pillow meets your hair. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. Notice the small, soft rise and fall of your own breath, without trying to change it. You don't have to do anything for the next half hour. You don't have to follow this perfectly. If your mind drifts, that is part of the listening too. Take a slow breath in through your nose, and let it out through soft lips, longer than the inhale. Again, slower this time. Let your belly rise gently as the air comes in. Let your shoulders fall as the air goes out. And one more, letting your jaw soften, letting your tongue rest gently behind your teeth, letting your eyebrows unknit, letting the small muscles around your eyes go quiet, letting your hands open very slightly, where they rest beside you. One last breath. Let it be the slowest one yet. Notice how the air feels at the tip of your nose as it comes in. Notice the small pause at the top of the inhale before the exhale begins. Notice how the body, when given permission, knows exactly what to do. Good. Now settle in. In the old Vedic tradition, the night sky was mapped into 9 influences. 7 of them are bodies you can see: the sun, the moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn. The other 2 are points, mathematical shadows called Rahu and Ketu. Tonight we sit with Saturn. Saturn is the slowest of the visible planets. From the Earth, you can watch Saturn move across the sky for nearly 30 years before it returns to where it started. That slowness is the whole point. Saturn is the planet of time, of patience, of mastery, of structure built carefully and tested by weather. The old astrologers in both the Vedic and the Western tradition called Saturn the great teacher. Sometimes the hard teacher, sometimes the kind teacher after the lessons land. In Sanskrit, Saturn is called Shani, which comes from a root meaning slow. In Vedic mythology, Shani is the son of the sun, born so dark and slow that even the sun, his father, could not look at him. The mythology is poetic. Saturn does not move at the speed of life. Saturn moves at the speed of consequence. Saturn is the part of you that knows what is real and what is not. The part of you that builds. The part of you that says no when no is necessary. The part of you that can hold a discipline for 10 years and not break. The part of you that does not need to be applauded to keep going. The part of you that is, quietly, the one who shows up. In the system called Vimshottari Dasha, each of the 9 influences holds the steering of your life for a number of years. The sun for 6, the moon for 10, Mars for 7, Rahu for 18, Jupiter for 16, Saturn for 19, Mercury for 17, Venus for 20, and Ketu for 7. Saturn's stretch is one of the 2 longest, 19 years, almost 2 full decades, given over to one teacher. The teacher who says, slow down, stay. Let the work happen at the pace the work actually requires. You cannot hurry the cathedral. Many people enter their Saturn Mahadasha and feel, in the first months, a quiet dread. They have heard about Saturn. The internet has told them Saturn is hard. Their elders have whispered about Saturn. And yes, Saturn is demanding. But Saturn is not cruel. Saturn is honest. The dread, if it comes, is mostly the anticipation of being seen clearly. By the time the Mahadasha is over, you will not regret being seen. You will be grateful. Now imagine this. You are walking in the late afternoon light into a small medieval town. The streets are narrow. The cobblestones are uneven. At the center of the town, rising above all the other rooftops, is a cathedral being built. Not finished. Half-built. The lower walls are complete and weathered, as if they have stood for 100 years. The upper walls are still being shaped. There is scaffolding wrapped around the spires. Stonemasons are working, slowly, methodically, their hands gray with dust. You walk into the unfinished cathedral. The afternoon light comes through the half-built windows in long golden shafts. The floor is covered in stone chips and sawdust and the smell of cut stone, which is a smell like cold water and old earth. An old stonemason looks up when you come in. He does not say much. He gestures at a stone resting on the workbench. It is rough, heavy, larger than it looks. You understand, in the way you sometimes understand things in dreams, that the stone is you. You also understand that the stonemason is not your enemy. He is not punishing you. He is not testing you. He is simply doing the work that needs to be done. He has done this work for thousands of years. Every cathedral that has ever stood in any town in any century was built by hands like his, on stones like the one he is shaping today. He does not rush. He does not slow. He moves at the speed the stone requires. He picks up a chisel. Each tap is small. Each tap removes a little. None of the taps on their own looks like progress. None of them on their own will be remembered. But over the years, by the slow arithmetic of patient work, the stone becomes a piece of the cathedral. A piece that will hold weight. A piece that will be there long after the stonemason and you and everyone in this town have gone. This is the work of a Saturn Mahadasha. Slow tap, slow tap, slow tap. For 19 years, the medieval cathedral builders had a saying. They started construction on cathedrals knowing they would never live to see the finished building. The masters who laid the foundation died decades before the spires went up. They worked anyway with the same care, knowing that the final form was not theirs to enjoy. This was not tragedy. This was their understanding of how real things are built. That understanding is what Saturn comes to install in you. There is a second image worth holding tonight, alongside the cathedral. Picture an old gardener, alone in a wide quiet field at the edge of a forest. He is planting something. You watch him from a small distance. He digs slowly. He places the small thing carefully. He covers it gently with soil. He waters it from a clay jug. When he stands up, you see what he was planting. Acorns. Many of them. He is planting an oak forest. You also see, in the way you see things in dreams, that he is very old. He will not live to sit in the shade of these trees. He knows this. He plants them anyway. Why does he plant them? Because someone, 80 years from now, will sit in their shade. He does not know who. They do not know him. But the planting and the sitting are part of one continuous gesture across time, even though no one is alive to witness both ends of it. The gardener understands something about time that most people, most days, do not understand. Saturn brings you slowly to that understanding. By the end of a Saturn Mahadasha, the things you do for the future you will not see, the kindnesses you do not get credit for, the slow daily disciplines that no one applauds do not feel like sacrifice anymore. They feel like the most natural use of your hours. This is one of Saturn's quietest gifts. The death of credit-seeking. The arrival of pure work. In the first phase of Saturn Mahadasha, in roughly the first 3 or 4 years, the descent begins. Things in your life that were built on weak foundations begin to crack. a career that you were performing rather than living, a relationship that had lost its honesty long ago, a self-image that you had been propping up with effort. Saturn does not tear these down with violence. Saturn just stops holding them up. The energy that was secretly funding the lie withdraws, and the structure falls under its own weight. This phase often feels like loss. Try, if you can, to hear it as relief. The work of standing in a fictional life takes most of your daily energy. When the fiction collapses, you may notice tired places in your body that you didn't know were tired. Sleep becomes deeper. Mornings become quieter. The compulsion to perform briefly has nowhere to go. In the second phase, in roughly years 4 through 8, the slow building begins. By now you have begun to recognize what is real in your life. The small things you keep returning to even when no one is watching. The work that does not feel like work because it is yours. The people whose presence does not exhaust you. Saturn, having cleared the false structures, now hands you a chisel and a stone. You begin a practice. Maybe writing every morning. Maybe a craft. Maybe a body of study. Maybe a particular kind of service. Maybe a deep, slow attention to one place, one community, one body of work. The practice does not impress anyone yet. There are no public results. Inside, though, something is being laid stone by stone. You do not see the cathedral. You only see today's stone. This phase often comes with isolation. The friends who knew you when you were performing fall away, because you have less to give them. The new circles, the ones built around the real work, take time to form. There may be years where you are quietly very alone. Honor those years. They are part of the building. The cathedral does not get built in a crowded room. In the third phase, in roughly years 8 through 12, the long winter arrives. This is the heart of the Mahadasha. The work that began with energy in the second phase now begins to feel endless. The discipline that felt like devotion at first now feels like a job. The path is no longer new. The novelty has burned off. You are simply doing the work, day after day, with no clear deadline and no clear reward. This is the deepest part of Saturn's teaching. Most people quit somewhere in this phase. Most people decide the work isn't worth it, or that they should pivot, or that maybe a faster path exists. Some pivot and start over and lose the years they had built. Some quit and the cathedral stops mid-construction. Some, by grace or stubbornness or luck, simply keep going. They keep showing up to the stone. They keep tapping. The stone keeps slowly becoming what it is meant to be. If you are in this phase, please hear this. The endlessness is the lesson. You are being taught how to do the work without the carrot, without the deadline, without the applause. The teaching is hard because it is rare. Most of life rewards the carrot chasers. Saturn is teaching you to chase nothing, and just to work. In the fourth phase, in roughly years 12 through 16, mastery quietly begins to show. You don't notice it from inside. From inside it still feels like the same patient daily tapping. But other people begin to notice. Younger practitioners begin to ask you questions. Your work gets sought out. The very thing that nobody saw for 10 years is now visible, and the visibility surprises you, because the work itself has not changed. This is the phase where Saturn's gift becomes legible. The structure you have been quietly building begins to stand. The cathedral has spires now. People drive in from neighboring towns to look at it. You do not feel like a hero. You feel like a stonemason who has been showing up to the workbench for many years. Both perceptions are correct. The mastery and the mundane are the same thing in Saturn's accounting. In the fifth and final phase, in years 16 through 19, completion begins. Saturn does not announce the end with fireworks. Saturn does not announce anything. But you start to notice that the heaviness you have been carrying for years has somehow gotten lighter. The work feels like an extension of your body now, not an obligation. The discipline does not require willpower. You are no longer building the practice. The practice is building you simply by being yours. You may also notice in this final phase that younger people in your life begin to look at you with the kind of respect that cannot be performed. Not because of any specific achievement, because of the texture of you, because of the slow accumulated weight of having shown up for a long time. This kind of respect is one of the few things in life that Saturn alone can give. No other Mahadasha can produce it. It is the specific fruit of 19 years of slow tapping. When the Mahadasha closes, you walk out of the cathedral. The light is the same as the day you walked in. The town is the same, but you are not. Whatever Saturn was here to build has been built. Whatever Saturn was here to teach has been taught. The next teacher takes over. They meet someone who has been formed. 19 years of slow tapping. 19 years of patient becoming. 19 years of building a structure that the wind cannot move. There is something I want to say before we move toward sleep. If you are inside your Saturn Mahadasha right now, please hear this. You are not failing. You are being formed. The two look identical from the inside. They are not the same thing. Saturn does not destroy what was meant to live. Saturn only releases the pressure on what was already cracked. The relationship that ended, the job you walked away from, the city you left, the version of yourself you no longer recognize, none of these were taken from you. They were taken off of you. Two different prepositions. The same act seen from completely different vantages. The exhaustion you feel is not weakness. The body works harder during a Saturn Mahadasha because the body knows it is being shaped. The new spine takes calories to grow. The new patience takes nervous system to install. Honor the tiredness. Eat well. Sleep more than you did before. Saturn rewards the body that is well tended. The loneliness you may feel is not punishment. It is the specific quality of solitude that craftsmanship requires. The cathedral does not get built in a crowded room. Some seasons of life are designed to be quiet. Honor them. The crowded seasons return, in time, but they will find you with deeper roots. The doubts that visit at night, the questions about whether you are doing this right, are not signs of weakness. They are signs of integrity. People who do not doubt are not building anything real. People who never question are never tested. The doubt is the proof that the work matters. You are not behind. You are exactly on time. The Saturn Mahadasha arrives when you are ready for it, not when you feel ready. Saturn does not ask for your feelings on the matter. Saturn asks for your patience, your honesty, and your willingness to keep showing up to the stone. That is all that is required. Showing up. The chisel does the rest. There is one more thing worth saying tonight, about what Saturn asks of you in plain words beneath all the metaphor. Saturn asks you to be patient with things that cannot be hurried. Most of life rewards speed. Most of the platforms you use, most of the metrics you are measured by, most of the comparisons you make with peers, are built on the premise that faster is better. Saturn asks you to step out of that frame just for these 19 years, and ask what is actually worth building. The things that are worth building cannot be hurried. Trees cannot. Marriages cannot. Crafts cannot. Real character cannot. Saturn is enrolling you in the school of patient excellence, and the tuition is your willingness to slow down. Saturn asks you to take responsibility. Not blame. Responsibility. The difference matters. Blame is a story about the past. Responsibility is a stance toward the future. By the end of the Mahadasha, you stop telling stories about whose fault things are, and you start asking what is mine to do now. This shift is one of the hardest psychological turns a human can make, and Saturn does it through you slowly, often without your noticing. Saturn asks you to honor old commitments. Promises you made to yourself when you were younger. Promises you made to people you loved. Promises you made to a teacher, a tradition, a place. Saturn does not let you walk away from these without consequences. If you have something old and unfinished in your life, Saturn will surface it during this Mahadasha. The surfacing is not punishment. It is the chance to either complete it or release it cleanly. Both are honorable. Avoiding it is not. And Saturn asks you to learn how to sit with what you cannot fix. Some of the people you love will be in pain that you cannot remove. Some of the situations in your life will not resolve in the timeline you wanted. Some of the questions you carry will not have answers. Saturn teaches you how to be present to the unfixable without breaking. This is one of the deepest forms of human dignity, and almost no other teacher in the system can give it to you. Let me name a few of the gifts that arrive at the end of a Saturn Mahadasha. Not the costs. The costs are well known. The gifts are quieter and need to be named. The first gift is depth. By the end of the Mahadasha, you will know yourself the way few people know themselves. Not the curated self. Not the social self. The slow, patient self that emerges only across decades of returning to the same practice. The depth, once installed, never leaves. It is the floor of every later season. The second gift is the loss of urgency. Before the Mahadasha, life felt time-pressured in a way that rewarded panic. After the Mahadasha, you understand that almost nothing is actually urgent. Most urgency is manufactured. The truly important things, the cathedral things, take decades. Knowing this changes how you spend your hours permanently. The third gift is real authority. Not the authority of position, the authority of having done the work for a long time. People will defer to you in ways they did not before. Younger practitioners will seek your counsel. You did not ask for this. You did not aim for it. It is simply what happens when a person has shown up to the workbench for 19 years. Authority is the natural sediment of patient work. The fourth gift is comfort with solitude. Before the Mahadasha, time alone may have felt like a problem to solve. After the Mahadasha, time alone feels like the medium in which your real life happens. You become unafraid of an empty afternoon. You become unafraid of a long winter. The fear of being alone, which structures so many decisions in earlier life, simply lifts. The fifth gift is the recognition of how time works. Most people relate to time the way a child relates to a wall. Time is a thing that happens to them. After Saturn, you relate to time the way an old gardener relates to seasons. Time is a partner. Time is the medium of your work. You stop trying to outrun it and you start trying to use it well. The sixth gift is mortality awareness as freedom. Saturn brings you, slowly, into a real relationship with the fact that you will not live forever. This sounds heavy. It is actually freeing. Once you fully accept that your time is finite, the 10,000 small worries that consume daily life lose most of their power. What is worth doing becomes very clear. What is not worth doing also becomes very clear. The seventh and final gift is the kind of peace that cannot be taken from you because it was not given by anyone. After Saturn, you have built, by your own slow hands, a kind of inner stability that does not depend on circumstances. Markets crash. People leave. Plans fail. The cathedral stands. The you that built it stands. This peace is the deepest possible form of human security, and Saturn alone gives it. So tonight, as you let this episode carry you towards sleep, set the chisel down. The stone will wait. The cathedral will wait. The stonemason rests too. Saturn is patient, but Saturn is not cruel. There is a stopping place. Tonight is the stopping place. Breathe in slowly through the nose, and out slower still through soft lips. Breathe in, and out. You are safe. You are held. You are exactly on time. If your Saturn Mahadasha is ahead of you, you are being prepared. The version of you that will pick up the chisel is being made now, in the small daily disciplines you barely notice. If you are inside it now, you are being shaped. The shaping is not punishment. It is craftsmanship. Trust the hands you cannot see. Trust the slow pace even when it feels too slow. Saturn's pace is the only pace that produces something real. If your Saturn Mahadasha is behind you, you are already wiser than you know. Look at your life now and see what was built. The depth, the patience, the way you can sit through silence without flinching, the way bad news lands on you without knocking you over. That was Saturn's gift. You earned it the long way, which is the only way Saturn lets you earn it. Let me leave you with a few quiet truths. You don't have to remember them. Let them just pass through. You are allowed to be slow. Slow is not lazy. You are allowed to keep doing the work even when no one is watching. Especially when no one is watching. You are allowed to plant trees you will not sit under. The planting is the gift. You are allowed to be alone for a season. The cathedral does not get built in a crowded room. You are allowed to be tired. Saturn is hard. You are doing real work. You are allowed to set the chisel down for one night. The stone will be there tomorrow. It always is. There is nothing you need to figure out before you fall asleep. The cathedral is closed for the night. The lamps inside are out. The stone is resting. So can you. Tomorrow the morning light will come back. It always does. The kettle will come back. The small, ordinary kindness of waking will come back. And the work, when you return to it, will be one tap further along than it was today. That is enough. One tap further is always enough. Let the breath get smaller. Let the room get further away. Let this voice fade into the soft hum behind it. Notice the weight of your body in the bed, the temperature of the sheets, the soft sound of your own breathing, the dark, steady night holding the whole house, the dark, steady sky holding the whole house, the whole street, the whole city. You are safe. You are held. You are loved by something older than your work. The slowness is not a flaw. The patience is not a punishment. The 19 years are not happening to you. They are happening for you. Rest now. Let the breath get smaller still. Let your face soften. Let your eyelids feel heavy. Let the small muscles around your jaw release. Let the small muscles around your hands release. Let the small muscles in your feet release. Let the part of you that has been holding the chisel for many days release, just for tonight, just for one quiet night, into the bed and into the dark. You are the stonemason. You are also the stone. You are also the cathedral. You are everything the work is making, and you are also already whole exactly as you are before any work has been done. Both things can be true. They are. Imagine, just for a moment, the cathedral after dark. The town has gone to sleep. The stonemasons have all gone home. The scaffolding stands quietly in the moonlight. The half-finished spires look the same as they will tomorrow. The work that was done today is done. The work that will be done tomorrow can wait until tomorrow. Saturn does not work at night. Saturn rests when the light goes. So can you. If at some point in the night you stir and feel the old worry rise up about whether you are doing enough, just notice it. Greet it gently. Tell it, we placed today's stone. That is sufficient. Then turn over. The worry is not a problem to be solved at 3 in the morning. The worry is just a passenger on the slow train of 19 years. Can rest too. You have placed enough stones today. The cathedral is closer to finished than it was yesterday, even if you cannot see how. 19 years of building is built out of nights exactly like this one. Many small rests, many small surrenders to sleep. The completion, when it comes, will be the gentle arithmetic of all these patient nights. May your sleep be deep. May your dreams be kind. May the morning find you stronger and slower, in whatever combination your soul most needs. Good night, friend. Good night.